or you're someplace in kind of a remote area and you slip and fall. And in that moment, you hurt yourself. This happened to me once in about 1992. And I was riding my bicycle, and as I was riding, the front wheel of my mountain bike went into a little crevice, and it had those two little gear shifters up, and I fell over the handlebars because I stopped so abruptly. And the two little shifters hit me equally on each side of my belly button. So I'm sitting there sweaty, covered in dust, clearing myself up, doing my nose to toes checkup, and I realized I had a pain in my abdomen, lower abdomen. So I raised my shirt up, and sure enough, I had two almost identical red spots where the skin had been rubbed off. And I started to heal them. But in that moment, I thought, I'm an engineer after all, and I want to apply scientific methodology to all of my healing practices. So I realized that I had two identical, almost identical areas. So I decided to heal one and leave the other alone. I'll tell you what happened at the end of this video. More importantly, I'll share with you in this video how you can start to develop your own healing powers, your healing abilities. Hi, I'm T.S. Hall, the Stoic Medium, and I teach old souls, empaths, and highly sensitive people how to excel as psychics and healers. I do this by applying scientific methodology to traditional spiritual training and development and growth practices so that you can accelerate your spiritual awakening, find out who you are, why you're here, and where you're going, and thereby creating the life you incarnated to bring about this go around. If you're new here, welcome. Please subscribe so you never miss one of our lessons that we publish on Wednesdays and Sundays. To develop your healing abilities, you require 3 skills. The first skill is being able to control your mind, have it do what you want when you want it to. The second skill is visualization, being able to hold a specific image to the exclusion of all others for an extended period of time. The third skill is being able to direct energy at a specific healing vibration or specific vibration. To illustrate what I'm talking about, I'm going to describe to you very briefly how you would heal a common chronic problem, carpal tunnel, a chronic pain in your forearm from overuse. Here's the problem when you're healing yourself, is you have to be able to heal around the discomfort, the pain, and the throbbing. The first step in doing that is being able to quiet and control your mind. So you have to be able to control your mind, stay in a quiet, receptive space, a place of thinking tranquility, to allow yourself to observe, understand, and know exactly what your forearm is. And as soon as you understand exactly what's going on with it right now, what it's doing, how it is, then you need to detach from that. You need to release that. You need to be able to allow your mind to detach from the pain, the discomfort, the throbbing. And you need to be able to do that for about 3 minutes. The second aspect is you have to be able to visualize an image. The image I want you to use for this basic healing is a white light. And the best way to do that is to hold a ball between your hands. Now, as soon as you put your hands together, you're going to notice that you'll sense a tingling, you'll sense a kind of an energetic field there, and that's your auras C interacting. Now, as soon as you kind of get that and they tingle, you can kind of move them back and forth a little bit until you get a really solid feel of your own vibration. Then you want to project or visualize between your hands a white ball. In this case, I want it to be like a snowball, and I want it to weigh about a pound, or about what 1 pint of water weighs. So you're holding this, and you're visualizing it perfect white, and you're going to make it about 1 pound. Now, the reason I want a weight component on it is to make it more real. You know, if you were to hold 1 pound out here between your hands for a long time, your arms would start to get tired. And that's what I want you to go for with making this energy ball, this healing ball, so real, so solid, so luminescent with white light that if you held it for a while, your arms would get tired. So as you visualize this, as you visualize it to the point it becomes real, you can feel that ball becoming more solid, more real, more tangible, and you start to feel it becoming luminescent, and notice that, then you've got a good energy ball. And that's what the whole part about spiritual healing is being able to visualize, and then make manifest. And if you were on the level of Jesus, then materialize an image into a three-dimensional reality. So now you've got a good solid energy ball, and you've been holding it here for about 20, 30 seconds, and it's real, and you know it's real, and it's, by golly, you know it's going to work. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to have to erase any disharmonious vibrations from the area you want to heal. And in this case, we're going to heal our carpal tunnel. So what you want to do in this case, I want you to, whichever arm is affected, I want you to put that arm down. So I've been using the right hand. So I'm gonna let go of my right hand. At the same time I'm holding this ball. It's still real. It's like a softball there, a snowball, if you will. And I'm going to relax my arm. I would put it up on a table. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to start to take this energy ball and you're going to start to comb through the area. Comb through the area. As a general rule, if there's no infection in the area you're healing, you want to go towards the end of this limb, towards the end, away from the body. So we're going to start here where you don't have any pain up in the lower bicep, upper forearm, and then you're going to start to slowly push, comb, pull this energy through your forearm. All the while you're imagining it whole and perfect in your space of mental quietude, and holding this image of this brilliant white luminescence and healing ball as you comb through your forearm. All the while knowing that it's getting better. All the while affirming that your ailment has disappeared. All the while being able to allow yourself to be well. You want to do this for about 1 minute to 2 minutes. Technically, the way you want to do it is you want to do it until you feel the disharmonious vibrations disappear. Now, here's what, for me, it feels like. As I'm doing healing on myself or others, and I start to feel an area, it feels kind of like, you go to IHOP and you have breakfast and the person who cleaned the table did not do it very well. And so there's kind of this sticky residue of old syrup on the table. Yuck. But that's what disharmony feels like to me in some cases. It has a little different characteristics depending on exactly what it is. But what I do is I take this white ball and I comb through the area until I don't feel that disharmony anymore. So that's the vibratory rate. So to me, that's being able to recognize and notice the disharmonious vibration, and then you want to comb through it. You want to apply the healing energy. You want to be able to remove, comb through, disassociate from that disharmony, which for me, like I say, feels like the dirty table with syrup on it. So that's 3 main components. A couple of things. Consistency matters. Chronic problems matter. So, and what I mean by that is if you've been dealing with carpal tunnel for 5 or 6 years, you're not going to be able to heal it in 5 minutes. I know that people will say you can spontaneously heal, which is true. I know that you can send money to some online healing ministries, and they'll take your money and they'll put their hand on your head and they'll pray to the Holy Spirit, breathe it in, and you'll be healed. But in practical reality, in the reality of your day-to-day life, you have to allow 2 things to occur at the same time. And the first thing that has to occur is your willingness to let go of what's so, the reality of what's there. The second thing that has to occur, and this is the part that takes time. When we're doing these types of healings, what happens is we're technically not healing the physical body. Your body does a damn good job of healing on its own. If you cut yourself and you don't get an infection, it's going to heal. As we would say to my grandkids, you put a boo-boo sticker on it and you put a little medicine on it and you leave it alone for a few days and it'll start to heal and then have a scar. But for long-term chronic problems, what happens is they begin to be mirrored inside your spirit body or your etheric body. And then that mirroring in the etheric body begins to remind the physical body of the disharmony. And then we keep on using it over and over and over, so we never get any break. So we become afflicted, if you will, with disharmony. The best example of this is imagine someone who had an amputation and they have phantom limb pain and scratching and itching in the where the limb used to be. That's because the etheric body is still there, and as the physical tissue is gone, the etheric body, that spirit part of you, will start to retract because there's nothing physical there. So that spirit part of you will mimic and start to take on this chronic disharmony. So what we do is we comb through, but what we're combing through is we're combing through the spirit part of your body. And as you comb through the spirit part of the body and you remove that stickiness, you remove that disharmony, you make it reflect perfection. That perfection then reminds the physical body of what normal was, what perfection was, what harmony was. And in that whole process, what happens is you begin to allow the physical body to heal itself, because it is being reminded of what harmony and perfection is by the spirit body, which is malleable, which we can allow ourselves to heal. So that's Basic Healing 101. If you're interested in this, you want to learn more, go visit us at oldsoul.academy and find out about our Spiritualism Made Simple classes. It's an 8-week series that allows you to understand what we're trying to talk about and see if it's right for you. As I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I was pretty new healer, pretty new psychic, just getting my feet wet, really starting to understand the power of my mind and the power of my healing abilities. When I took a digger off the front end of my bicycle, I had these two perfect little matching scrapes and wounds on either side of my belly button. And I decided I'm going to heal one and not heal the other. So basically I sat there on the ground in the dirt, sweaty, muddy, and I started combing through one, basically using the same technique I used that I shared with you just now. And bam, 2 days later, there was virtually no sign of any disharmony on the right side that I healed. There was still just a little bit of disharmony where the skin was scraped. So the top layer of skin was kind of pulled back. And so the skin under that was kind of this kind of bright rosy pink where new skin was coming in. But there was no bruising, there was no soreness, there was no nothing on the right side of my belly button. Meanwhile, on the left side of my belly button, it was starting to turn black. You know, kind of you get up that bruise and it starts to turn this black purple. So indeed, the right side that I healed, bam, went away perfectly. The left side showed some damage and showed a lot of distress and disharmony. So I started to heal that side. But what happened is I had waited quite a long time. All the capillaries that had broken, all the blood that was in there, it was already pretty much well set, so that disharmony had started to be reflected in my spirit etheric self. So it took longer for it to heal. It's very difficult to take blood under the skin and comb it away. But in this case, what I did is because it had that dead blood in there, and it wasn't necessarily infected, but it was definitely sore. So I combed it up towards my lymph glands. So I combed it up towards the heart so it would get rid of all that dead blood tissue and everything. So it took about 3 weeks for it to go away, and it went through the really dark stage to the purple stage to the yellow stage. A friend of mine said it probably would have taken over a month if I had not started healing it. But so I got it about 25%, healed 25% quicker. But the one on the right side, which was almost identical, went away in a matter of 48 hours. And that's the key I want to really have you understand. If you've got something brand new, I think we've all done it. We've smashed our finger somehow. And what's the first thing you want to do? You want to hold it. And when you hold it, that's putting your etheric energy, your healing energy into it. The next step is after you get the immediate pain gone and the bleeding stop, then you want to start to comb it. You want to use this energy ball and comb through it. And the more you can detach from it, the more you can let it go, the more you can see it in its perfect, whole, harmonious state, the better result you will get. So that's it. That's the fastest, most effective way to start developing your healing abilities. Again, ask me your questions down in the comments. I'm happy to help you any way I can. If you're interested in what we're doing, you can visit us at Old Soul Academy. On Sundays, we put out a spiritualist church service. I'm an ordained spiritualist minister, and we help inspire you to what's possible by walking your path based on your spiritual awareness, your spiritual knowing, and understanding who you are, why you're here, and where you're going. If you found this video useful, give us a thumbs up. It's important information, so I'll know what kind of content you want me to put out. If you think this video really sucked, give us a thumbs down. I need to know. I need honest critique and feedback about the type of information you want to receive. Again, if you're new here, subscribe, hit the bell so you never miss one of our spiritual lessons. And until next time, my highest blessings.